Next.
He said, if you do that, you will never see your son. I will fight you to the death.
My experience with Utah law, which is extensive, is that it works very well. It's pro-child.
I'm really shocked by this.
On the next Big Bang Theory.
We've got this friend, and he's kind of down in the dumps.
The guy's spread.
But
I was really excited about on eBay once, and it turned out to be absolutely fake.
people on the streets talking about some of the scams they've fallen prey to. We're talking, telling you about scams today, teaching you how you can protect yourself from becoming a victim. The story of my next guest, Jake, is a little different than what we've heard so far. He says what happened to him was the ultimate act of betrayal. Take a look.
I got a text message that said, I'm pregnant. My girlfriend and I decided to raise a child together. When I found out I was going to have a boy, I was really excited. My mom painted the entire nursery. It just looks amazing. The Christmas right before I had my son, I got a stroller, clothes, diapers, everything just to get ready. My dreams were torn apart on January 5th. My ex-girlfriend called and told me that she had my son on December 29th and put him up for adoption without telling me. I dropped to the floor. I just couldn't believe that anyone would do that. I'm going to keep fighting for my son.
Please welcome Jake and his mom, Jenny. Thanks very much for being here. Explain how this happened, Jake. I mean, you get this call. She says, I've given the child up for adoption. How could she do that?
She didn't think that she could raise him with me. And I wasn't ready to be a father.
You were actually with her the night before she gave birth?
Yeah, we went downtown to see some Christmas lights. I just didn't suspect anything.
So there were no signs that she was about to give birth the next day she knew she was going to give birth?
Not at all. I had no idea. We were planning on a C-section on January 12th, and that was it. Next thing you know, she calls me and tells me that she's had my son, and I can't see him.
Sonny, how does the law allow this?
It's extraordinary, right? This is specific to Utah because Utah does not give the type of biological rights that fathers sometimes get in other states. And so in Utah, if you have a child born out of wedlock, the birth mother can file for adoption or give the child up for adoption without the consent of the birth father. So he would have had to have signed up for paternity. He would have had to file a petition. He would have had to really gone through the legal process just to protect his rights as the biological father. And apparently this is something that happens very often.
Jake, did you know that you would have to sign up to get your paternal rights?
I had no idea. When she broke up with me, about 3/4 of the way through the pregnancy, I researched some things and said, you know, I probably need to do this because I found out about paternity action. And when I brought it up to her and said I should probably file for this, she said, if you do that, you will never see your son. I will fight you to the death. There's nothing you can do. You'll never do this. And it scared me enough to not take action until it was too late.
Wow. Jake's attorney, Wes Hutchins, is here. How can you fight this, can you?
We can. One of the most astounding things in Utah is that there's a fraud immunity statute. It actually legalizes birth mothers lying and defrauding birth fathers, and it makes a challenge to that judicially immune. You cannot bring a challenge in court under our laws.
You actually recorded a phone conversation. You had somebody posing as the sister of a birth mother?
That's correct, Anderson.
You say this audio recording is kind of a smoking gun. I want to play some of what your assistant heard.
If it comes to Utah, then we can go by Utah law. We can get from what he wants us to here in Utah, doesn't matter what. He's really the guy, the dead father. He's not a husband. Part of the adoptions, what do we do? Does he know that he's talking about coming to Utah? No, he doesn't know that he needs to keep that a secret. He's really happy that weeks now he's going to find her.
So essentially, that's an adoption agency telling somebody to to lie to the birth father or to not tell the birth father or the friends anything.
That's correct. We learned a lot of things from these interviews. They even admit on these transcripts that adoption laws in Utah are unfair, but that's the law.
Well, why are these laws in place? I mean, why is this the way it is in Utah?
Well, there's a lot of different reasons for that, Anderson, but I think there are some monetary incentives that are involved, but in fairness, there is a balancing that takes place, wanting to put these children into stable two-parent homes. Utah is a very pro-adoption state. The basic problem, however, is that it's gone from pro-adoption to anti-birth father.
I want to also bring in David Hardy. He's an attorney from Utah. He often represents the adoption agencies or adoptive parents in these cases. David, I appreciate you being with us. You think these laws don't need to change. Why? I mean, what do you make, first of all, what you just heard on that tape?
The issues that are raised on the tape are issues of concern. They're something that may need to be addressed. While the issues are of concern, my experience with Utah law, which is extensive, is that it works very well. It's pro-child. The concern with changing Utah's adoption laws is it's going to be injurious to the children who are involved.
Because you're saying it's better for a child to be adopted by a two-parent household than it is, what, to be raised by a father alone?
Generally, the social science says that. Now, Utah law does recognize fathers' rights. We do not take children from a situation where a father has established his rights. But if the father does not have rights, and if you have, for example, a mother who wants to place, the decision should be made in favor of where the rights are and in the child's interest.
But a lot of fathers don't know that they have to actually stake their rights. They actually have to go down, sign documents. A lot of people just assume, well, I'm the biological father. I never knew you would have to sign some sort of a document in advance.
Well, it's kind of a foundational legal principle that you're knowledgeable with respect to the law. And so that's something that applies in all areas of the law.
I'm really shocked by this. Nothing about this sounds pro-family or pro-child to me. I mean, it doesn't sound to me that this is in the best interest of the child, or, I mean, how is this pro-family? Or a case like this?
The issue is one of rights. We look at what the law says as far as the rights are concerned. If the mother has the right to place, and a father has not established his right, then the mother is entitled to go forward with the placement plan. This is not unique to Utah. This is something in many states.
But even though these rules are out there, you don't think that they need adjusting, that they need changing? I mean, if women are coming to Utah specifically for this, to give away a child without the birth father being aware of it, you don't think that needs to change?
We're always open to changes that are going to improve the law of adoption. But we need to look out primarily for the interests of the children, secure adoptive placements in the case where it's appropriate.
Again, I just don't understand how a child being removed from a biological parent is in the best interest of a child ever.
Jake, you keep fighting. I hope you get your child back. My question to you is, when you do get your child back, would you continue a relationship with the adoptive parents since they've already bonded with your child?
To be honest with you, even though they've denied me pretty much everything, like in the ways of pictures or even getting to meet him, honestly, I would let them still visit. I mean, they would get basically what they offered me in the beginning, pictures every 6 months, maybe a letter about how they're doing. I wouldn't have a problem doing that with them, but they would not get any kind of like overnight custody. There's no way.
We reached out to Jake's ex-girlfriend, Whitney, and the adoption agency. They both declined to comment. We're going to continue to follow this. Jake, I just wish you, you're going to need strength in the weeks and months ahead. I wish you strength, and I hope things will work out for you. You can log on to AndersonCooper.com. We have a link to a searchable list that breaks down adoption laws state by state, because as David said, each state is different. Some states have rules just like this. So find out the rules in your state, particularly if you are about to have a child or thinking about having a child. We'll be right back.